And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, looking at today's breakup map, there are flood watches continuing out here for the hatched area here for the North Slope, Brooks Range, and the North Slope out to the eastern Arctic coast for possible flooding due to rapid snow melt and possible ice jams along the rivers and streams draining the North Slope. And that flood watch is out again for possible flooding out through Tuesday afternoon. And going to fire danger for spruce, we've got some extreme fire danger starting to emerge here over the Yukon Flats down in the Tanana Valley there, with quite a bit of very high fire danger here through the central interior, high fire danger down into the northern Kuskokwim Valley, also here for the Susitna Valley in toward portions of the Kenai Peninsula and the Copper River Basin, areas of high to very high fire danger for spruce in those locations. And from there, going to satellite imagery, you can see a lot of clear skies, allowing temperatures into the 70s and 80s in the central and eastern part of the state here. And nice conditions all the way down to the North Gulf Coast, although some clouds, lower clouds in Prince William Sound today and up in toward Resurrection Bay, southern Cook Inlet, but dry conditions. And a band of cloudiness, a little bit higher clouds here across the Yakutat area. Low pressure southwest of the Queen Charlotte Islands, another low out here in the Bering Sea, and that associated front stalled along this west coast here, bringing areas of light precipitation through the coast. Still an area of significant rainfall in a narrow band here coming right up to the Alaska Peninsula, right over Perryville. They had a little over an inch of rain today, and just under half an inch at Cape Newenham, with much lighter amounts on up to the northwest there. And then another trailing front there brought some light precipitation here. Most areas seen about no more than 0.05 of an inch up there, Atchison, for example, and those locations in toward Nuiqsut, but bringing a little bit of light precipitation up there. Otherwise, dry conditions here over the Aleutians, maybe a few scattered showers. You can see this low slowly drifting north-northwestward there, and that stalling the front out, weakening front here along the southwest coast as high pressure aloft holds over the interior. And the forecast for tonight, light winds, variably cloudy skies to mostly clear conditions, and mild overnight lows in the interior from the Arctic coast right on down into south central Alaska. It could be a few scattered thunderstorms here over the eastern Alaska range, maybe the Talkeetnas. And then still some light precipitation with the remnants of that frontal boundary extending from the western Arctic coast right on down to the Alaska Peninsula. Another weak low here brings a chance of rain to the eastern Aleutians. This low continues to become less significant, weakens and pulls back to the northwest. And for the Gulf of Alaska, high pressure, light winds and cloudy skies right under that ridge there. And chance of showers here with that band of clouds we saw on the satellite for Yakutat and across the extreme northern panhandle. Dry for much of the remainder of the southeast coast, although this system may be close enough to bring a chance of some light moisture there in toward Heidelberg, maybe Klawock, and that's about it. And then for tomorrow, same thing here. Weak front develops with this low center, kind of coming back up to the north here. So mostly cloudy skies with a few showers around the southern southeast coast. Scattered showers or isolated thunderstorms for the northern panhandle and the eastern North Gulf Coast. And a little bit more development of some convection here over the eastern central Alaska range, Copper River Basin, Talkeetna Mountains in the afternoon. Otherwise, partly to mostly sunny skies for southern Alaska, a little cooler here across south central Alaska. And in the interior, another warm day, 70s, lower 80s for the highs there. Up to the Arctic coast, dry conditions under high pressure with light winds. Still looking at some showers here over the northern Bering Sea, actually from the Bering Strait, just grazing the western Seward Peninsula down across St. Lawrence Island into Nunivak Island and possibly the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta coastline. So definitely cloudy skies there and cooler with moisture. Rain for the Alaska Peninsula and eastern Aleutians with this system. Dry for the areas from about Nikolsky on out to the Komodorskis, and that low continues to weaken there over the northwest Bering Sea. And not much change in that system, although it becomes even weaker on Monday, bringing some light precipitation to St. Matthew Island. Otherwise, that's about it. Dry, light winds for the Aleutians, especially the eastern Bering Sea here and the west coast areas. More clouds and a little bit more in the way of scattered thunderstorm activity in the afternoon here over the mountainous terrain of southern Alaska, although partly sunny skies. Kenai Peninsula, North Gulf Coast areas, and partly to mostly sunny over the central and northern interior areas. Southeast coast, though, periods of light rain, cloudy skies, a little cooler there across the entire area with that weak front draped across the region. And then for Tuesday, that front kind of washes out, another one develops and pushes northward, keeping a chance of rain over the southern southeast coast, while the central and northern areas dry out and clear out. Dry from the North Gulf Coast, and then scattered showers and thunderstorms here, especially over the western Alaska Range into the Kuskokwim Valley and along the Copper River Basin there, along the eastern Alaska Range as well. Sunny and warm again up over the Yukon Flats, Koyukuk Valley down in toward the White Mountains, and then some more shower activity here for the western Brooks Range area, possibly into the Selawik Valley. Dry along the west coast, dry for the Arctic coast and North Slope, and no storms out here over the Bering Sea, just a couple of weak troughs with maybe some light precipitation associated with them, one of which will probably strike the eastern Aleutians and Pribilof Islands. And for the lows tonight here, pretty mild over the interior, 40s and 50s for the lows, some areas in the lower 60s, like around Fort Yukon and Bettles. Otherwise, 30s, lower 40s for the North Slope Arctic coast. Highs for tomorrow, 70s and 80s in the central interior. Look for some 70s on the North Slope and 60s and 70s, south central Alaska. And for the Panhandle, mostly in the lower 60s and 40s out over the Bering Sea. And for the Aleutians, and for the lows on Monday morning, we've got very mild up here over the Yukon Flats, 50s and 60s over much of the interior here. 30s for the Arctic coast, 40s for the Bering Sea, 40s and lower 50s here across southern Alaska into the Panhandle. And for the highs on Monday afternoon, again, back into the 80s there for the interior, 85 to 90 in some locations there. And down to the south of the Alaska Range, cooler conditions with highs mostly in the 60s. Some areas could reach the lower 70s as they sit in the valley, and mid 70s in the Copper River Basin. Highs over the southeast coast, mostly in the 60s. 40s for the Arctic coast, 40s out here over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians.